What are the stages and processes in mediation? Mediation is a practical process. It's a practical process. The stages and processes in mediation varies depending on which contents the mediator wishes to approach. The very first step in mediation is invitation of parties to mediation. You can do that by email, by letter, via phone calls, depending. It depends on which approach the mediator wishes to approach. The next stage is fixing a mediation date. Why you inviting parties? Because I know when I did my internship, there are parties where I did my internship, Citizen Mediation Center, Lagos State. We issue letter to the person that come to lay complaint. We call the person the complainant. So he or she go and serve the person later. Sometimes they tell us, I can't be able to serve this person later. We are having dispute. But sometimes we send a rider, a dispatch rider to do that. Or sometimes we help by calling the person on the phone. Then we ask the person to receive the letter. And sometimes we get the feedback like this date is not convenient for me. We fix the dates via forms or via emails. So it's fixing a date that is convenient for both parties and the mediator. Choosing a venue. Yes, mediation is very flexible. You can have an office and choose not to use there. That's the flexibility of mediation. The venue is movable. It's mobile. You can be mobile in your venue system as a mediator. So you choose a venue. If it's an online dispute resolution, you choose the platform online. If it's Zoom or any platform that will be convenient for the parties to use. Venue is very important if it's on site or online. Physical venue could be a mediation center, a dispute resolution establishment. The next one is selection of a mediator. These are the processes. Mostly these are more applicable in large organizations where cases are being assigned to mediators. While on the mediation day, the process of mediation involves presentation of each other's in mediation with the help of a mediator, facilitating the process. There is the mediator opening speech, which entails the mediator explanation of his or her roles in mediation, educating party, the disputants on what mediation is all about, explaining the rules of party need to adhere to that will guide the mediation process. Signing of confidentiality form and agreements to mediate form by parties. Because mediation, one of the principles of mediation is voluntarism, so parties have agreed to use mediation. So there should be a confidentiality form that we are going to, an agreement formed by both parties, not just verbally. Yes, I've agreed to use mediation, but it has to be signed also. That okay, we are agreed to go into mediation to resolve our dispute. We have to sign it also, and they also have to sign the confidentiality form. Is a process, it's a stage in mediation process, because mediation is all about confidentiality. It's one of the principles. Whatever that is being discussed in mediation doesn't go outside the mediation room. It's just the party and the mediator that is aware about that. So they have to sign confidentiality for not to review whatever that has been discussed in the mediation process. It's another third party. Another process in mediation is the party speech. Every party in mediation have the opportunity to express their views, while the mediator's job is to listen actively, facilitating the communication between the disputants. Another stage in mediation is creation of agenda. In order for mediation process to be effectively handled, the mediator must create an agenda from what the parties have said and use the agenda to redirect the parties to their interests rather than their position. The agenda in this process, the agenda rather in this mediation stages, trying to rephrase what the parties have said, trying to summarize the main points. Because while the parties are making their opening speech and telling you what brought them to the mediation center, you are at the same time summarizing. You don't need to start making long notes, summarizing, and from there you create an agenda. This is why we are here. Oh, someone is owing you money. You want them to pay so time and time frame. You just summarize. If it's a case of debt, he's owing you. You borrowed him money so date. He has not paid. If there's an interest on it, you analyze that. All you need to do is just summarize it. Another process also in mediation is private caucus, which we call private meetings. In mediation process, a mediator can also use private meetings for a party to hear what the other party couldn't communicate or wouldn't communicate in the presence of the second party. So at the stage of the opening speech of the mediator, you also tell the party about the private caucus, private meetings. And also there is a resolution stage. Every mediator is aware that not all mediation process lead to resolution outcomes. In the process whereby disputants have reached a resolution in mediation, a settlement agreement is being drafted by the mediator. And after that, the mediator read aloud the mediation agreement and what the parties have agreed and assign. So before the resolution process, there are a lot of process going on. Like I said, it varies. The agreement to mediate helps the party to further understand the principles of mediation, because it's been stated there while they're signing. As each principles will be written and it is important, will be highlighted to enable the parties understand why they are going into mediation. It also helps parties to understand the role of the mediator, the monetary fees to be paid unless it's a government or state-sponsored mediation. It is also a legally binding contract between two parties who have voluntarily chosen to resolve a dispute using mediation process. Why the terms of settlement in mediation? When parties in mediation process have reached a resolution stage in mediation, the terms of settlement highlight the nature of the dispute, the verbal communication, the agreement reached by the mediator parties that will be drafted by the mediator, indicating the clauses of confidentiality, the outcome of resolution reached by parties, enforceability clause in case there is a default by one party. So these are the importance of terms of settlement in mediation, why they are signing. In other words, mediation is a unique career, and it permits a mediator to display his or her own style in mediation. The stages in mediation varies depending on which context and the approach the mediator is visiting. The important thing is to guide at the back of the mind is to always follow the principles of mediation, to remain impartial as a mediator. It's a career one can create his or her own niche while practicing. Also pursue continuous training to remain relevant in the world of dispute resolution. You can create your niche. You can decide to be a conflict resolution negotiator. You can become a commercial mediator, family mediator. There are a lot of niche, construction mediator, There are a lot you can create a niche for yourself. So the most important thing, mediation as a conflict resolution method is very, 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 very unique career, and I'm very passionate about that. Very passionate about mediation. I have passion for it. I'm so excited about that. I'm very passionate about dispute resolution because as a mediator, you're a peace builder, you're a peacemaker also. You're contributing to human development by creating peace. So mediation is a very wonderful and unique career. And what I've discovered is that during my training workshop, I see different people from different backgrounds coming to take up a mediation course. Bankers, engineers, like entrepreneurs, different fields. They come to empower themselves with conflict resolution skills. They coming from different totally background of education, and they want to become a mediator because they've realized that in every industry dispute arises. So most of them want to incorporate, enhance and develop our dispute resolution skills in whatever field they are. So when conflict arises, they can be able to facilitate conflict resolution even in their own domain. So everyone needs conflict resolution skill. Everyone in any industry, managers, HRO. So, like I said, mediation process, the stages and the practical aspect of mediation, it varies. So it's about the mediator kind of approach and what is very important at that particular time. So mediation is a wonderful career in which I'm very passionate about it, and that's why I keep promoting mediation.